That's the other stuff. Yeah.
All right, President Markov, we are ready to begin. You are live when you are ready.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:04. We'll start with roll call. Trustee Morocco,
Present.
Trustee Martin,
Present.
Trustee Alvarado,
Present.
Trustee Vargas,
Present.
and I'm present also, President Markov. We'd like to also have a roll call for our student board members.
Yes.
RBV High School, Adon.
Present.
Murray High School, Brian. Did I say it right, Brian?
That's Brian.
Brian, all right. You here? Okay. Okay. Melina. Present. And student trustee Taylor.
Present.
Right. Okay, we'll start with the pledge of allegiance. Trustee Martin, would you be willing to lead us?
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, and to the soul for the liberty and justice of all.
Yeah, so before we begin, I'd like to hand the meeting over very briefly to Dr. Dwell.
All right, so for our board members, welcome to our board meeting, our student board members, members of the public. Every year we have a tradition in Vista Unified, and it's a beautiful tradition. And our tradition is to thank the previous board president for the president's leadership and the great work, in this case, that President Morocco did for us during the entire last year. So on behalf of the entire school board, and each of you are going to give a quick speech, if you'd like, to thank President Morocco for the work she has done. But from my perspective, and we have a beautiful plaque for you in a moment, we're going to take a picture of it as well. This is our tradition. But from the superintendent's perspective, I want to personally thank you for your leadership, the great work that you did. I did, as an educator, do a little bit of research, and you actually reduced the time of board meetings by 30%, which is pretty amazing. And I think I can speak for the entire board to say we thank you for that. Thank you so much for the great work you've done. I also want to thank you for reading every single board packet and grilling me personally on it, because that means that you really care about the work that you do. So thank you so much. We do appreciate the work, and your leadership makes a difference for Vista Unified. So we're going to quickly do a quick thought for each board member. And then if you don't mind, I would like to ask you to come up front so we can get a picture with Trustee Morocco, outgoing board president. So we'll start with Trustee Morocco.
Trustee Morocco, I want to thank you for your fine example of leading here in the role of president. Since I've gotten to know you, I really appreciate your focus on kids and doing what's right for Vista Unified. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you on behalf of the school board for us. And, these are long meetings, and so I appreciate the efficiency and with it, not only from us, but also from staff to get to the point. There's a lot of, discussions that, having a discussion at 11:59 p.m. is always not the, most energetic, and also, the best time to, discuss our priority with our children. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and I concur with my fellow trustees and Dr. Doyle, and I'm sure that our students appreciate it as well. They come here to observe the process, and so when as you facilitated the meetings, you really respected the time and allowed them to maximize their learning time too. So thank you. I'm sure the students appreciate you as well.
Thank you. And I want to thank you for your leadership for the year and teaching me along the way with my first year on the board too. And so keeping things down 30%, that's wild. And I'm sure staff is pretty happy. I know the board was, and I think that's great. We were very streamlined. Thank you very much.
So if you could all come up, we want to get a picture of our outgoing president.
No,
I am.
I think we're gonna be right here would be best, so someone doesn't trip over the camera there. Yeah, right, we do. I'm sorry. Right there, perfect. Very good. Trustee Martin. I'm gonna hand this off to you, so you can take a picture of me shaking your hand.
Okay.
Smile. Congratulations. Anyone get in the middle? Right in the middle? You can pick for the board.
Ready? I'll take a couple. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Can we hear it for trustee Morocco?
Thank you.
Very deserving. All right, I'm gonna hand it back to our board president. All right. Now we're on two B,
Yeah.
2B. Sorry to interrupt your agenda.
Yes, no, okay, continue with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the Payum Kawisham people of the West as the traditional land caretakers of the land on which Vista Unified School District was built and its surrounding traditional cultural landscapes. Today, the Payum Kawisham are known as Lucenio and are made up of 7 bands: La Jolla, Paula, Palma, Changa, Rincon, San Luis Rey, and Subaba. We, Vista Unified School District, are mindful of the indigenous peoples in this place, and we pay our respects to the Lucenio, past, present, and future. We are grateful to have the opportunity to be a part of this community in Lucenio territory and to honor their history, culture, and perseverance of spirit. Okay, we're moving on to report of actions taken in closed session. There were no actions taken in closed session. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, moved by trustee Alvarado, second by trustee Morocco. All those in favor?
Aye.
We will move on to now to 5A. We have one hold card, I believe.
Yes.
Like Shuei.
Jane? Yes,
Okay.
and I have 3 minutes,
You
right?
have, yes, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sue Jang. I am a parent in Mission Vista High School. I'm here to report a critical failure in administrative transparency and significant loss of state mandated instructional time that has been omitted by the school principal. I received a written response from Principal Walden regarding a core subject Spanish 2 class in fall 2025. In his response, the principal admitted that for a significant portion of the term, which I estimated about 2 weeks in a 2 months time interval, the classroom was staffed by a non-subject credentialed substitutes. The principal admitted in writing that students were not expected to independently learn new content during the teacher's absences. This is an admission that the school failed to provide educational value required to the 64,800 annual instructional minutes mandated by Education Code 64207. Under Education Code 46207. Under Education Code 46390, minutes can only be claimed for DAD funding apportionment only if the students are engaged in educational activities under immediate supervision of a certificate employee. Review days and babysitting by unqualified subs do not meet the legal threshold for the state funding. When the loss of instruction resulted in technical failures with automated grading system like at puzzle.com, the teacher used in class, the administration chose to blame the student rather than acknowledge the lack of qualified supervision. Principal Walden's investigation into this matter was inaccurate and defensive. By dismiss these gaps as longstanding practice, the administration potentially exposed the district to major fiscal penalties in the next annual audit. State funding our ADA is predicted by actual instruction time by credentialed teachers, not review days by the unqualified subs. If the state determined Mission Vista is short just 500 minutes, the district will face fiscal penalty equal to total ADA funded by the entire 9th to 12th grade multiplied by the percentage of the time lost. For district our size, this is a 6-figure liability created by administrative negligence at the single site. I attach Williams' uniform complaint and the formal appeal to Dr. Chalaga today, and I'm going to submit a request to have this matter placed on your February agenda. I urge the board to exercise its oversight of Authority investigate why Mission Vista is misrepresenting instructional time to families and the state, and I want to ensure our students receive qualified instruction they are legally owed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to, is there no more article, is that correct? Okay. So, item 6A, we will now close the regular meeting of the Board of Education of Vista Unified School District to hold a public hearing of the Vista Unified School District Improvement Corporation. We're closing the regular board meeting at this time. We're now opening the public hearing, items 6A through E of the Vista Unified School District Improvement Corporation. The annual meeting of Vista Unified School District Improvement Corporation is now in session. Item 6B, we will now hear nominations for the offices of President, Vice President, and Secretary. It is recommended that those nominations match the nominations which were made on December 11th, 2025 for the school board.
So perhaps President Markov, before you engage in this process and take questions or comments from the board, Dr. Loescher could give maybe a 1 minute overview of the kind of purpose of this, because this is a neat element of the, we typically only do it once a year. So Dr. Loescher, maybe take 1 minute, just outline why are we here and what's the purpose of this public hearing?
Sure, we are now in a corporate meeting. Vista Unified Improvement Corporation is the corporate entity that oversees your bonds. And it is a corporation that sells bonds, is legally liable for those bonds and all responsible aspects of them. So it is a corporation that is permitted to do that. This corporation was founded in 1991. It is not a new corporation. This is a common format. This is what most school districts use in order to sell bonds in this fashion. You are required to have a board of directors. The typical format of that board of directors is that it matches the configuration of the Board of Education. So you become the ex facto board members of them, and typically, not always, but typically, including all of the positions that you are here. So therefore, last year, the president of the corporation was President Morocco. Therefore, this year, typically, the president would move to the new president's seat, so forth, vice president, and down the line. So that is the purpose. You are required to hold one annual meeting. You do actually have business tonight, which it would be the certificate of participations, because it would actually goes twice, first to the corporation for approval, and then it goes to the Board of Education for approval for the redevelopment funds aspect of it. So that is our purpose this evening.
And back to our board president for the action on the table.
Okay.
I move that we nominate President Markov as president of this corporation. But for vice president, trustee Vargas, and then myself as clerk. As secretary, I misspoke. That's the word.
And trustees, you have to read out trustees Martin and trustee Morocco.
And trustees Morocco and Martin on
The troops.
Trustees.
Members.
members of our corporation.
A second.
Okay, all those in favor?
I.
Don't we need a second?
Second.
No, I seconded it.
Okay, item 6B passes, unanimous. Item 6C, it is recommended that the members of the district's board of trustees be appointed ex officio to the offices of the corporation's board of director.
You took care of it.
Keep reading.
Okay.
You completed, but keep reading.
Okay, is there a motion? Okay, we did the action for this one. Okay, 6D. I will now entertain a motion to approve resolution 2619. Resolution of the Board of Directors of the Vista Unified School District Improvement Corporation authorizing delivery and sale of 2026 certificates of participation in a maximum principal amount of 25 million and approving related documents and actions.
I move that we approve resolution 26-19.
Second.
Okay, is there a discussion? Any discussion on it?
Would the board like Jen to give you an overview of it now or later? You have two votings, typically now and then later in the agenda, whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm comfortable later.
Later, okay.
I just have a few questions. That would be no-
Wherever you're comfortable. And
It would be a more appropriate.
yeah, then we'll wait for a minute.
All right, so we'll take a vote. All those in favor?
I,
Okay, motion passes, unanimous. Item 16, we are closing this meeting of the Vista Unified School District Improvement Corporation.
Does that need a motion to close? To adjourn?
No, okay. Yeah. We are reopening the regular board meeting at the time. Just do all those right there. All right, I'd like to invite Vista Teachers Association up for report.
Hello, good evening, board. Dr. Doyle, cabinet, student board members, community, and people listening on the live stream. I want to start by saying leaders inspire other leaders to put themselves out there. And I want to start off by thanking Marcela Ramos. A couple years ago, she got up here and said, I'm just going to speak from the heart and not have a speech written down in front of me. And I am trying that this year. So bear with me. It's the first time. Normally I'm looking down at my paperwork, but I want to talk to y'all directly. So first of all, I want to say it was great to go to the budget workshop. I really thought it was healing and I learned a lot. And so I encourage other people from the community to come to the one next week because I learned a lot about school budgets. And that was great. And it's great that we're starting to have conversations about informing members about how we do school budgets by coming to a rep council meeting. That was wonderful. Our focus is for the next couple months is going to be getting Prop 55 extension on the ballot. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it is a tax that California taxpayers are already paying. It was a temporary tax. It helps fund our schools to about $28 million a year. It is going to sunset in 2030. And so we are gathering signatures through our members. We're trying to get 88% of our members to sign the petition to get that on the ballot because we desperately need we can't lose $28 million a year. What that equals is about 1 in 6 teachers in the state of California losing a job. And we need our valued educators. But I do want to address a concern that VTA does have, and it is about the bond. And I've been talking to my members and about supporting the bond because my teachers need new classrooms, right? I was at Bopier. I taught in a classroom that was older than me. And I know there are teachers that are dealing with that now or have molds in sinks or failing HVAC systems, right? We need new facilities. That's going to bring people to our community, right? But when you voted to extend Dr. Doyle's contract, and Dr. Doyle and I, we go way back. ELD, we've worked together for a long time. We brought the concerns that my teachers aren't necessarily going to support it. Some might actively talk against it. And then you go forward with not knowing and securing the 4 votes that you need to pass the bond. So I'm really addressing the 3, like what is the plan? Because we don't want to waste people's time, money, energy, and not even get it on the ballot. We're doing our part to get Prop 55 extension on the ballot. What are we going to do as a board so we are able to move forward? I've already talked to each of you separately about an idea about my members need to feel secure in their benefits. We have agreed for a salary increase and we like it 2% this year, 2% next year, 2% the following year. That's solvency for the bond. But next September 2026, my teachers are going to take a pay cut, even though it looks like we're getting a salary increase, because our benefits are going to go up. We have discussed a floating cap. That's what districts around us have. San Marcos, their district pays 88% of benefits. The teachers pay 12% of the benefits. And I do want to say that we've done great work on the insurance committee about creating another tier for our members. But I think that would do a great thing in building the bridge of distrust that is that frankly, a lot of my members have with the leadership of our district right now. And no offense, So I just hope that you consider it because we don't want to waste people's time, money, and energy. And we do want Vista to have facilities equal to Bopier or Vista High at all of our schools. So thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Marcella Ramos up for California Schools Employees Association.
Good evening. Thank you, Carrie, for those kind words. I'm glad I can inspire other people. But I just want to acknowledge that compliment only because it brings me back to when I was the seventh grader, my first time public speaking. I was horrible, but I had a wonderful teacher and basketball coach who put me in that position because she believed in me. So I just want to acknowledge our teachers because they play a very important role. So I didn't do public speaking just because I knew it was great. No, it started when I was 12 years old. So anywho, good evening for school board members, student board members, Dr. Doyle. Happy New Year. I do want to start our report acknowledging, highlighting our professional day that happened on January 6th. One, because I think it was successful. It's always wonderful when classified employees are provided with opportunities for growth, learning opportunities. And I just want to acknowledge it because this year PD was organized differently than last year. And how so is that this year it was grouped with job families. So sessions were organized according to job families. And I say that's successful because feedback I've heard from members is they want to be given the opportunity to engage with other people that do the same role in other school sites or departments, engage with them. It allows them to collaborate and get to know one another. So by doing this, it really gave them the freedom to do this. I do want to acknowledge that not everybody participated. Some of us had flexible schedules. So for example, IT department, interpreters, HR department, physical services department, purchasing department, and athletic trainers. This is to say that it didn't mean that they're not getting PD, but they should be getting their PD later in the school year. So I just point that out because CSCA made that clear to the district, make sure that they do get their PD, even if it didn't happen on that day, because it is an agreement that we have that classified employees are to get at least 3 professional development days. I do want to recognize Trustee Vargas and Trustee Markov. Thank you for being present that morning and getting to walk around, getting to meet classified staff. I do want to challenge you, and this goes to all the board, when you have an opportunity to meet classified employees, meet one new classified employee you've never met. After you introduce yourself, remember their names, what is their role, what school site or department they work at, get to know them. Just how we emphasize students, so important for students to feel like they belong when they go to school. It's important for classified staff to feel that we are respected and we belong here. And that's one form of respect, is treating us with dignity by knowing our names. So thank you for your presence that morning. I do want to transition now to talking about the Better Together survey. We all got notification that the survey is available now to start completing it. I want to talk about it because it brought back, I was reminded that April 2025, I reached out to Trustee Alvarado because she was a board member that made a comment during last year's conversation about improving or changing the Better Together survey. What are we doing to improve participation from classified employees? So I shared my 2 cents from informally serving our members was, how do we get you all to complete the survey? So I kind of want to share this with the board, and I can follow it up with an email. So challenges are, employees are left to determine when to complete the survey on their own. It's difficult for classified staff who work with students specifically, or especially students, to step away for 20 minutes to get the survey done, so they choose not to participate. Not every classified employee is provided with a laptop or computer, for example, custodial staff, mechanics. So if their supervisor does not offer a solution, then they feel they cannot participate. Some employees do not always check their work email. So I state that because right now the communication was sent out in an email. So it's important to do the follow-up. Are we doing this in a staff meeting? Are administrators following up with their staff to remind them to fill it out? School site classified employees do not always know they may check out a Chromebook, for example, to do this survey. So this requires a lot of collaboration and coordinating the logistics. And I point that out because I know we talked about it, Dr. Doyle, you mentioned it's logistics. So we got to put the effort to make that happen. If you want to see more participation from classified employees. Employees have a mistrust with the survey responses remaining confidential. So that means that maybe they don't all understand how the survey, who gets the survey, who's managing the survey, right? If there's that mistrust. What are recommendations? Administrators should actively be involved in coordinating their employee schedules to determine when to allocate 20 minutes to complete the survey. This includes designating a room or location to complete the survey. In other words, create a schedule so that it sets an expectation and understanding that they have their supervisor's approval to step away from work to do the survey. The other recommendation, offer overtime or extra time to do this survey. Many classified employees have a hard time interrupting their workflow because they fear they will fall behind on their workload. I heard this a lot from custodians. This is particular too for job classifications that are currently understaffed as well. For example, instructional assistants, child nutrition services workers, and custodians, we are understaffed. I did share these recommendations to the district yesterday during our labor management meeting. So also, one other thing is what's very helpful is constant reminder. I was expecting the survey to come in the spring, so I was caught off guard, like, oh, it's here already. So it didn't allow us, CSEA, time to announce it to our members, hey, this is coming up, promoting it, encouraging members to, or using our chapter meetings to promote and discuss the survey so that we get increased participation. Last about that topic, I just want to mention also what's very helpful is knowing what is our target number. I know that last year we did not know we want to increase participation, but by how much? My understanding is we got to 35%, and I believe that's the number we're aiming, or rather we should aim for.
Anything above 32 is numerically significant.
Thank you, right? So is 35 our all goal that we're trying to meet, because we got to be data driven too, right? So those are just recommendations I wanted to share with the board, in which we also shared with the district staff. And last, just to wrap it up, and I can elaborate maybe on our next report, but I do just want to bring your attention to the payroll department. We're aware that right now they're understaffed. There's a vacancy in the payroll technician position. It's not clear whether it's going to be, if someone's going to be hired for this position, and I just want to stress, payroll department is who makes sure we all get our paychecks. They are overworked. They've already talked to CSEA. We're doing overtime. We understand we don't need to, but we're doing it because it's our responsibility, obligation that everyone in the district gets paid. So please be mindful. I know we're doing a lot of attrition, but I believe payroll department should be one of those departments where we should cut. The opportunity to have a full team in order for it to function efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite DLAC up.
Hola, buenas tardes, estimados miembros de la mesa directiva. Traigo la actualización de DILAC para la mesa directiva. DILAC realizó una junta oficial el lunes 15 de diciembre. Se cumplió un quórum con 16 escuelas de 22 escuelas representadas. En el segundo punto, el objetivo principal de esta reunión fue aprender sobre las estrategias del proyecto GLAD. El punto número 3, también se compartió una encuesta estándar de evaluación de necesidades de las escuelas desarrollada por la mesa directiva de DILAC para que la utilicen todas las escuelas. De esta reunión, nuestra recomendación es la siguiente. DILAC desea obtener más información sobre el currículo usado para la clase de enseñanza del idioma inglés como segundo idioma. entre paréntesis ELD, designado en cada nivel educativo y cómo la estrategia GLAD se alinea con dicho plan de estudios. La próxima junta oficial de DILAC se llevará a cabo el lunes 26 de febrero a las 5:30 en el Centro Multilingüe en el Salón F. Los temas de enfoque son los datos de LPAC y la estructura de la prueba LPAC. Y como especial taller, DILAC quisiera agradecer a su imagen por atender nuestras juntas cada mes. Estamos muy agradecidos con ellos.
Good evening, esteemed members of the board. DLAC update for Vista Unified School Board. DLAC conducted an official meeting on Monday, December 15th. First bullet point. Quorum was met with 16 out of 22 schools represented. Second, main focus of this meeting was learning about Project GLAD strategies. Third bullet point. A standard site needs assessment survey developed by DLAC board was also shared for all sites to use. From this meeting, we have the following recommendations. DLAC would like to learn more about the curriculum used for designated English language development, ELD, at each grade level span and how GLAD strategies align with the curriculum. The next official DLAC meeting will be held on Monday, January 26th at 5:30 at the Multilingual Center Room F. The topics to be discussed are LPAC data and LPAC assessment structure. So final point, DLAC is thankful with Sue Martin for attending our DLAC meetings each month. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on to discussion and action items. Item 8A, ratify purchase orders.
Make a motion to approve 8A.
Second.
Is there any discussion, questions? No, okay, I call for a vote. All those in favor for item 8A?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention?
Aye. I'm
Okay.
abstaining because I have not a conflict of interest, but I want to remove any semblance of an impropriety of conflict of interest because I own stock in one of our people that we spend money on with.
All right, okay, item passes with one abstention. We'll move on to item 8B, accept the audit reports for the 24-25 fiscal year.
Thank you very much, President Markov, Vice President Vargas, members of the Board of Trustees. I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Ana Machado. This is our annual audit process. This is, again, first time in over a decade that we are doing this in January, not later in the year. So we've been moving our timeline forward substantially. All items are in there. This is not our report. This is the auditor's report. Therefore, the auditors are joining us in case there are questions that board members would like to ask. But we will not be responding because, again, we did not write the report. It's an independent auditor's report. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Machado since she led our efforts to introduce our auditors this evening and then open it up.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lucia. Good evening, board members, Dr. Doyle, student board members, community at large. I'm very proud to bring this report to us at this time of the year. It's really exciting for me and my team. It's a goal that I've had since I started here. And I want to introduce to you Laura Liz Vilches. She's our senior manager for ID Bailey, our independent auditors. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well.
Put that on the floor. Good evening, everyone. Mr. President, members of the board, very happy to be here. As Anna mentioned, my name is Laura Liz, and I'm the senior manager at ID Bailey in charge of the district's audit, and I'm here to present to you the 24-25 audit results. I'll make it real quick, no worries. There are three main sections that we take a look at. We take a look at your guys' financial statements, we look at your federal programs, and we look at your state programs. And we basically give an opinion on all of those, and they all include an element of internal control. I just want to remind everyone that an audit is designed to not provide total assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatements, but reasonable assurance that they are free from material misstatements. With that said, I'm happy to announce that the district received an unmodified opinion on all three of the sections I mentioned, which is the highest, cleanest level of opinion that the district can receive. I did want to point out that there was an internal control finding that we have in the audit report, and you can find more detail on that at the end of the audit report. Measure LL as well. Yes, yeah. We also took a look at your Measure LL and we performed two audits on your Measure LL, one of which is a financial audit and the second is a performance audit. The financial audit is just like the district's main audit. We take a look at your guys' financials to see if they're free from material misstatement. And again, I'm happy to announce that you guys also received an unmodified opinion, which again is the highest, cleanest level opinion that the district can receive. For the performance audit, we reviewed 43 million of expenditures, which is about 97% of the total expenditures incurred for voter-approved projects through the bond. And for that, sorry, we found out the expenditures were in line with voter-approved projects. Are there any questions?
Yes, can you walk me through the different ratings? So you give us one sample, but what are the other ones?
Sure. So you have an unmodified opinion, you have a qualified opinion, you have an adverse opinion, and you have a disclaimer of opinion. Those go from best to worst.
Are you our auditor for the first time this year, or did you audit us last year?
Audited last year as well.
What was the rating last year?
Unmodified.
What was the rating the year before that?
Unmodified.
Okay. Is that common? Do you all give what they should be open, all unmodified?
So no, not entirely. It just depends on the district. There was one district I currently have right now that will be issuing a qualified opinion on the report. We also have another district that we offer, but we opine on with a disclaimer opinion and report. It just depends on the information that's being given to us, if the information is clean, whether or not there are errors and how many errors there kind of are. It just kind of depends from district to district. So no, not every district receives an unmodified opinion.
What would lead to an unqualified?
Unmodified?
Modified, yeah.
Modified opinion. If you have multiple errors in the report where we cannot really give a clean opinion on the report.
Got it. And typically for Vista Unified, when you ask for data, are you getting that? Is there any roadblocks?
No roadblocks.
Got it. And then with that, obviously you're incentivized because, and I asked this question last week at the budget workshop. You're incentivized to produce this report, but we also pay you. So what incentivizes you to make sure you tell us the truth versus just?
Sure. We have independent standards that we're required to follow. We have our own set of standards that professional conduct and independent standards that we have to meet in order to be able to provide an opinion for the districts.
No, thank you for that information. I mean, this is more for like the general public, that there are, accountability. There was a question, to Dr. Bill over the weekend about this. And so glad that the report, comes out in this area. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
One more question.
Yes.
Can you tell me approximately how long it took you to do the audit from start to finish? I know it came out in January, I think you said.
Yes. So it's actually a full year audit, because what we do is we come out sometime in the spring or early summer, depending on the time of year. We'll take a look at your internal controls. We'll take a look at state compliance, usually during this time frame, and then we'll come out after your book's closed to look at your financial statements and to kind of finish the audit for the federal programs and the state programs as well. So it's actually a full year audit that we conduct.
And so you'll be beginning next year's very soon again.
In a few months, probably, yes.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, any further questions, comments? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we have to accept, yes.
We have to accept it. I move to accept the audit reports for 2024-2025 fiscal year.
Second.
All those in favor to accept the. I need my glasses, sorry. All those in favor to accept the audit reports for 24-25 fiscal year.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Move on to item 8C, approve City of Vista renewal agreement for joint use of fueling station.
All right, good evening, members of the Board of Education. Not located too far from where you're sitting right now is the city's yard for their operations. And in the city's yard, we share a joint use facility. This is a great example of joint use. And the purpose of that joint use facility is a fueling station. And the fueling station is there because we must maintain a strategic fuel reserve to fuel not only items such as buses on a routine, regular basis, but also to have fuel in reserve in case of emergency, because we also provide emergency support services. This also permits us to have a space where we can purchase fuel at a heavily discounted price. by about 25% to 30% off, have it stored, and then when we can retrieve it. So this is a current agreement that has been in place with them. We are required to have a strategic fuel source, multiple fuel sources. And even as we move to electrification, we still have vehicles that require that fuel. So this is a agreement for the next several years that pays for itself. It actually saves us money overall, but it is, again, as opposed to an alternative of investing millions and millions of dollars to put in our own fueling station, which is toxic and other items, we utilize that facility with the city. So that's a continuation of this joint use agreement.
I move that we approve the joint use agreement with the city of Vista.
Do you mind if I ask a real quick
sorry.
question? No, it's okay. I just like, but
Well,
we can make.
I'll second it for now and then, yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
then we do discussion.
Okay. And second by trustee Vargas. I do have a question regarding this emergency services. Is this something that Vista Unified has just kind of offered, or is this a state mandate? How does that work? What is that?
So this rolls out actually at a national level. We have something called the National Incident Management System and the State Emergency Management System, NIMS, SIMS. So NIMS is the national level, all the way down to SIMS. And when there's an emergency, it can be localized to a particular area, such as a school district, a city, a county, or a statewide emergency, or it can be a national emergency. In the case of an emergency, every public employee in California that works for a school district is de facto by law an emergency service worker. And we have to be able to provide those services, and it guides everything we do. We talked about our educational purpose and mission, but to the trustees' question, sometimes what we don't always understand is every education facility, every bus, every truck, everything that we do has to be at an emergency standard because of a variety of things, which includes that in the Constitution of the United States, we do not quarter emergency services or military in people's homes. We have to do that through public services. So we do have those services as part of our legal mandate.
All right, thank you. Any further question or discussion?
Carry on with that conversation. Are the school sites aware that they are all emergency support? And 20 years ago, we all had
Yeah.
specific duties that we knew in the
Yeah.
case of an emergency.
So every site has a site emergency plan, okay? And it's a master plan, and there is a 3 deep, typically, at least 2, depends on the school site, but typically 3 deep of who is doing what position. They drill on those positions. Every school site does a series of emergency drills throughout the year. I mean, I'm sure you recall that, Trustee Alvarado. I'm sure you're doing this now once a month. You got some form of drill, and it's going to either be an evacuation drill, shelter in place, one of the various strategies that have to do with that. So we do drill for all of those things, and it's on an ongoing basis.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, item carries. Move on to item 8D, approve salary increase and increase to health and welfare benefits for certified management and assistant superintendents.
So following each annual bargaining session with our bargaining units, we bring to the board an equivalent compensation increase for our non-representative groups. This item is specific to certificated management and assistant superintendents. So we respectfully ask the board to approve a 2% salary increase effective July 1, 2025, a 2% salary increase effective July 1, 2026, and a 2% salary increase effective July 1, 2027, which would include the equivalent benefit contribution as well. Salary schedules are here for the 25-26 school year, and each year we'll approve the next school year prior to that school year.
Quick question, because I noticed that it says certificated management and then it says the 2 assistant superintendents, and one of these assistant superintendents falls under classified and not certificated, so do we not?
It's over on the next one.
Item.
It doesn't say it in the narrative, but it is in the salary schedules. So the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services is under the classified employment. So we've always just separated the two. We put certificated, and we are a certificated Assistant Superintendent, and then we have the
I got it.
improved with classified.
All right,
So he's over there.
I just was wanting to make sure we didn't have a technicality going on.
Nope.
So, yeah,
Thank you. Yes.
I'm noticing on the fiscal impact funding sources for 27, 28, it seems 3 times higher. Can you explain?
Yes, and I have Anna here too. Oh, there she is.
I'm right here.
My understanding is as you apply ongoing to anything, it amplifies. So the increase this year will become 3 times as much in 3 years. And then that year, the second year, you're getting another one plus the one before. And so it's just amplifying and that's why it gets larger. But did I say that correctly?
No, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. And it was demonstrated in the same manner for the other two organizations. And what happens is the basis that we have is this year. So for every year, we need to add what happened in the past plus what's happening that year. And that's why.
One other question.
Yeah.
How does this impact the negotiations with VTA? It seems like this is a me too for the assistant superintendent management.
Yeah, and so we do bring this to the board every year because our management are non-representative, so they are not part of a union. It is the board's prerogative to approve the equivalent. One of the things to consider is as you move up your teacher salary schedules into like principals and APs, they start to cross over where teachers we can't get assistant principals and principals to move up because everything kind of crosses over unless you're moving everybody kind of at the same way. So it's not something that is required. It's just something that has been done over the years.
I think my question more pertains to, does this impact HR's negotiations with VTA? Are you considering the other Me Too's with the other labor group and also with management?
You mean when we go into bargaining? We look at everything as far as budgeting, but that would be something we could discuss in closed session. Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Okay, is there any further discussion, comments? No? Okay, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstention? Item 8D carries, unanimous. We'll move on to item 8E, approve salary increase and increase to health and welfare benefits for classified confidential supervisory and management non-representative groups.
So similar to the last item, I know no one wants to.
I was gonna.
Trustee Morocco wants to make a motion.
I'll make a motion. I move that we approve item 8E.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, item 8E passes unanimous. Item 8F, approve resolution 2620, authorizing the execution and delivery of Vista Unified School District 2026 certificates of participation.
Thank you very much, President Markov, Vice President Vargas, all members of the Board of Trustees. This is a companion item that went along with the Improvement Corporation. This is the Board of Trustees item to vote upon. And we have Mr. Kim with us this evening that can answer some of the discrete questions that you may have about various things. And I'm also available for this discussion. I do want to also note that Ms. Machado has been instrumental in this and been working with us as part of our long-term professional development plan for her to understand more on facility financing. So she may be asked to answer questions if there's one specific. So we're here for your questions.
I'm going to make a motion. I move that we approve item, is that 8F? 8F, yes.
Second.
Okay, there's comments or questions, discussion.
Yes, I do have a question. This is for $25 million and 3.74% interest, I think it was. And by my very rapid calculations, it came out to about just under $1 million a year in interest. Are we going to be paying principal plus interest to bring this down?
Yeah, well, I'll turn it over to Mr. Kim, who can talk about some of the discrete knowledge about the actual transaction. Mr. Kim.
Yeah, well, good evening, Mr. President, members of the board. Thank you so much for inviting me here this evening again. To answer your question, we will be paying the combination of principal and interest together simultaneously. And one of the unique aspects of our COPs is that we've earmarked the future projected redevelopment revenues for the source of repayment and not the general fund. So to the extent that we're able to, we will shelter that.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Betty. Okay, any other questions or comments? Call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Thank you. Okay, motion carries unanimous. We'll move on to item 8G, selection and award of vendor for I'm not gonna read that, lease back Rancho Buena Vista High School track and field replacement general contracting services.
Go ahead, Dr. Lusher.
right.
Walk them through it.
All right. So this item was an RFP, request for proposal, that was a public bid advertisement for a lease-back contract. That's a specific style of contracting that we use here in Vista Unified School District. We can go into more detail if it's the pleasure of the board. The process for this is we use a rubric system based upon a variety of factors. And the request for proposal is on the specific project. They make these proposals. Many contractors come in. It is a blinded review. People review the item, they score it, and then there is a secondary, typically interview process if you have a few people that are close together in the score. Based upon the independent review committee, and to be clear, I'm not on the committee, Ms. Dowler's not on the committee. I can't even tell you all the people on the committee because I'm not present for it. Based upon their review, they did have a recommendation. The recommendation was to go with Bernard's as the lease-back contractor for this specific project. Bernard's currently is the general contractor for Beaubier Elementary School and has been doing extraordinarily well on that job site as well. So that is the basis for this recommendation.
I have a question. Is there a reason, this is not a PLA project? So is there a reason for that? Is there too small of amount? What is is there a reason why we did not pursue a PLA or was not indicated this?
Well, I can speak to a few things, but I can't speak specifics to a PLA because we have a PLA agreement for portions of Measure LL. This is not a Measure LL project, therefore it did not qualify to go out into the bid. For a PLA project, we would have to, PLA discussion, we typically would have to schedule a meeting where we have it, but you would have to develop a specific project list. At that time, we would come back to you with various recommendations, including various project size and strategies and various things. Typically speaking, projects of this nature, which are of a specialized agreement, including things like turf repair, are so specialized that they're not typically, because they are smaller and they're not part of PLA agreements typically. But that is the reason for this one. It's not a Measure LL project. It was not on the PLA project list. That has to be pre-approved. Typically, that approval process is 12 to 14 months.
Okay, I'm not sure if this is a you question or maybe a Dr. Doyle question, but we just approved a COP of $25 million. What do we need to do to make sure that those projects, at least we can at least take it on a case by case basis of at least having a discussion that they be PLA projects?
Point of order, PLA is on the agenda and PLA has to be negotiated with the building trades, which is a whole separate procedure.
Yeah, but I can give you a simple answer. So Trustee Alvarado is correct. We shouldn't be talking about that topic tonight, but I can answer your question. The answer to your question is, now that you approved the COP, the $25 million, it is the board's discretion and only the board's discretion to determine which projects are paid for out of that. So tonight, this is an example of a project that would be paid for out of that $25 million COP. But of course, that's only a $7.5 million project, so it would be nearly $20 million left. Any decision about how to use the COP money in the future would be decided by this board and this board only. Whether you choose to go forward and investigate a PLA in the future is just a decision the board can make. Just note that that's typically an 8 to 12 month process. And we can give you lots of information on that in the future. We just can't talk about it tonight.
Thank you.
Question on the companies that requested, how many of them have contract with the school district?
How many are currently under contract with?
Have ever been contracted by our school district in the last 5 years?
In the last 5 years, I believe 2 of them have been contracted in the last 5 years. 2 of them are approved in the Measure LL pool.
But we haven't used yet.
Yeah, 1 has not been used yet in the Measure LL pool, and then we had some that have not been in the last 5 years.
Got it. I'll make a motion to approve.
Sure.
No. Don, did you have a question?
Let's wait for a second.
Oh, sorry, that's okay. Is there a second for this motion?
No.
Chris, did we, I don't think we got that yet.
Cipriano's
Cipriano's first.
I'll second.
Okay, now go.
Okay, there's one more question, Don, I believe.
No.
Yeah, I just have a few questions, seeing that there's a lot of RBP students here
Sure.
today, and obviously this is regarding our school. First of all, I'd like to say I'm happy to see that our field is gonna be renovated. If I recall, it's been since 2003 that it's been updated, and the wear and tear on the track is very obvious, so glad that's happening. But at the same time, as me and many fellow colleagues in the class of 2026, we're sad to see that many of our sports seasons, we won't be able to play on our field this year. So I'm asking what accommodations will be provided for athletes to be able to go to separate facilities in order to perform to the best of their abilities. I know conversations with my track and field coaches, we've discussed practicing at Vista High School and the school district providing busing to go there. What other accommodations will be provided so that we can perform to the best of our ability?
Sure. That's an excellent question. Thank you very much to the student board member. So several accommodations have been made. First of all, we entered into an agreement with the Vista Storm to move them off of city fields. So those are now at a separate location. So city fields are being opened up for the next 2 years. So that way athletes have the capability for certain sports, for example, lacrosse and others, to play on turf fields as required by CIF regulations. Next, we have priority access for open fields that are being accommodated. And we have both athletic directors that are talking, and they're waiting for the approval of this item. Keep in mind, there's a process. We have to wait for the board to approve it before we fully move forward. But we have a discussion between them on how we go about doing things, even like gate fees, and how you organize the stadiums for all of those. So we have a variety of fields in place and various transportation accommodations that are being made. And I know that athletics is a huge deal, Isaac. We've also been exploring things that I think is going to be fully relevant for you very soon, which is where are we holding graduation? So that once we move through this, we actually will be bringing back a series of contracts in order to address each of those items. And presuming that we do get to a point where we pass this item tonight, in February and March, we will be seeing subsequent contracts come through to support all of those services.
We also have a communication plan that will go out to the students and the parents about this process. But again, we can't do anything until the board gives us direction. As soon as we have direction, we'll answer all the questions. Who's going to use the track? What's the process for using the track? How do we get student from one location to another? All that will be part of the communication plan.
One other question.
If I could just make a comment to our board, a lot of us are worried about how our seasons are gonna look, so if you could please consider how are we gonna perform to the best of our abilities? I know improving the field is very important and it should happen, but please consider our interests as well. There's a whole lot of people using the field, and it's important that everyone can perform to the best of their ability.
Would you mind expanding on that? What do you mean that, about other people using the?
Track and field team, lacrosse team, I know there's a lot of teams that practice during the
Okay, I
summer,
gotcha.
marching band.
Access to fields, what you're
Yeah.
talking about, access.
One other question, what is the approximate time of construction?
Yeah, so the timeline for construction is aligned with next CIF season. So the goal here is that we move through this cycle right now in order to have it completed before the next football CIF season cycle starts.
August.
Right, so here's the difficulty that we have in a school district of our size. If we're a very large school district, we can divvy up things differently where we move lots of teams around because we have lots of separate fields. With only one other stadium and a few other partners, we have to be extraordinarily strategic on our timing. So the timing of this project is between now about mid-August for full playability. So we have plans for practicing during the summer, marching bands and all those items. But then we have a window of time where essentially we have to make sure the field is performing as expected and that the testing goes as accurate. So that way we don't start another project, for example, while we don't have every reasonable assurance. So typically I'm going to ask for about 4 to 6 weeks for us to play on the field. So we discover if there's any issues. That way we don't end up in a situation where we have no stadiums available to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a very quick question as well. With regard to the transportation to the exterior fields or other fields for students, is that accounted for in the 7,360,000?
No, that will be separate. So
That's
there'll be a
separate.
whole series of actions we'll be bringing back to you as a board in order to accommodate it. We've already done the homework on it. We have it all queued up and ready to go, but we really can't take that step until the board decides to go forward with the construction. Then we will give you
Thank you.
that information. You'll be getting that within the next month and a half.
All right, thank you. Okay, any other comments or questions? Call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, item carries, unanimously. I'd also like to point out that it is just after 7 o'clock and that if there's, any students here that have been here, you may, there's gonna be people in the back there that can sign your papers that's saying that you were here. So thank you for, oh, yeah, let's actually take, would you guys like a 5-minute break or, okay, 5-minute break?
of the board, staff, or public request specific items to be discussed and or removed from consent calendar. Superintendent and staff recommend approval of all consent calendar items. Is there any items that you would like to pull?
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Okay, before we start, I would like to have a brief discussion on item 13,
So
13B.
so we pull it.
So
Yes.
pull item 13, yes, okay, and then so we're voting on all except item 13B.
So I believe the trustee needs to amend the
And then
motion.
Also, that's from the amendment.
okay, the friendly amendment is done by trustee Vargas, a second. All those in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, item carries, and then, as far as item 13B, this is new high school primary textbooks and instructional materials for the 2025-26 school year. And I just have a brief question.
Okay.
There is some supplemental reading here that is, it has some pretty graphic depictions of abuse, basically.
Yep.
And so I want to know from like how the text will be used in class and in what way. Are they supplemental? Are they required reading of all? Like, can you walk me through that a little bit?
So it depends on which one, if it's what I'm thinking of. These are for advanced level classes. So these are juniors, seniors in high school who are adults, like half the kids in here have already turned 18 probably. And there are references to violence. There are sexual aspects to some of the books. But we wouldn't call it graphic or grotesque. The violence wouldn't be grotesque and the sexual items wouldn't be graphic.
Okay, and as far as like in an advanced placement class, are they required readings? That's my question.
No, these are not required.
Because, okay, that was essentially it. Was there?
Let's clarify.
Sure.
So it's a student joins a class and unless the student presented that they wanted to opt out of a certain text or their parent wanted them to opt out, it would be considered part of the course and sort of like standard of this is what we're reading, this is what we're doing.
Okay. All right, that's all my question.
Okay.
Any other, would like to entertain a motion to pass?
I move that we approve item 13B.
Second.
Is there any other questions or discussion? Okay, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. So the motion passes unanimous. Okay, it's like, we're gonna move on to 15A. Discuss and approve board member committee assignments.
So typically what we do annually on the committee assignments is that we roll them over unless there is a board member who would like to change or you would like someone else to have an opportunity. So if you're comfortable with the way it is, there's no need to change it, but this is your opportunity to let us know. And by the way, we could do it at a later meeting as well. It's just easier for us to organize everything.
I'd like to keep all my assignments, but if I could be listed as an alternate for the DLAC meeting, I would appreciate that. I would like to be an alternate for that. So can't make it so that I can probably pursue. No, DLAC.
DLAC, it's on page 2.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts or
Are you okay with that, Sue? Yes.
No, I'm happy with mine and Rita can be the alternate.
Yeah.
Any other requests, adjustments? Again, we could do it 2 months from now too, but it's better for us if we know up something.
Well, I have a comment, not really an adjustment. So I noticed that we have a special board meeting on a night that we have the steering committee.
Yes.
So obviously we just can't when we have.
We didn't know
board
that you were gonna
business,
set
but-
those meetings, so.
Got it, okay. Just
Sometimes
a
that
comment,
happens.
and I know life happens.
Well, the other thing to note is, there is no legal requirement for a board member to be at any of these meetings.
Right.
This is more of a transparency and just being out in the community. So not necessary to be there, but we would like you to be there. And sometimes we set meetings after these meetings dates are set, so yeah, accommodate everything. Any other,
I'm also comfortable with my assignments.
Trustee Vargas, you comfortable?
I'm good, yeah.
I think we're good. We have one adjustment. Chris, did you get the one adjustment? ELAC? Trustee Morocco will be altered.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We need a board,
No, you do not need to approve. You don't need to approve.
okay, then we're gonna move on to item 17A. Measure LL workshop, micro workshop.
Ready to go. All right, so before we begin, I think I have it all ready to go. Again, I want to thank trustee Morocco. She is a trooper. She's been to all of our meetings, done a great job. As a matter of fact, she comes with her boots and she even walks when it's muddy. So thank you.
Not
for the
all
work
of
you
the
do.
meetings, I
Almost all.
had to miss a few at the end of
Almost
the
all.
year, but yeah.
Yeah, very good. We appreciate it. We did, I had a chance to walk it a couple of times. And I do want to commend Chris and the team for the great work they did, because if you weren't measuring the raindrops that we got a couple of weeks ago, we got nearly 7 inches of rain in just the span of a couple of days. And 7 inches is a lot of water for Vista. And the team never stopped. I mean, you had to slow down a little bit, but we're still on schedule.
We are.
And so super excited about it. I know trustee Morocco was walking just the other day. I walked it and we had 100 people out there again, working hard, doing great work. So thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. Take it away, Dr. Lotion.
Thank you very much, Dr. Doyle. To the members of our Board of Trustees, our general updates here on Measure LL specific to Beaubier, but we do have some LL updates as well. So we'll go ahead and begin with our new format for financing, which is located on slide 2 of the presentation.
That's really. I know.
Yeah.
It is.
It is really small
What it
because
is,
it's a lot of information. And as we have said many times, you know we're serious when you see 2-point font on a page. But this is a report all through, and interesting enough, this report was the subject of a conversation with Standard & Poor's, the international credit rater, earlier today, who had a fascinating finding and interest in the fact that we have the only bond series that they've noted that hasn't gone over budget on their items and have been completing things. So they found this sort of report really informative and straightforward for themselves with the bond categories and everything else. So we're happy to launch this. There are no new significant updates here on this item. What we will say as far as our finance is coming back to you on February 5th. You can expect a item for Series C being issued. That's the final series of items for bond sales in Measure LL that will complete all bond sales, along with a refinancing option, so that way we can save the local taxpayers some money for refinancing bonds at the same time. So that is sort of the financial update. Ms. Dowell is going to walk you through a waterlogged construction site, where we've even joked that if Dr. Doyle and I don't get out to find inspiration out at Beaubier, we're returning to the classroom, because we love this project. It gives us such hope and inspiration when we see it. But Chris, why don't you walk us through, including all 80,000 gallons of water on the site?
Yeah.
Wade us through. Wade through Lake Beaubier.
So as we mentioned on the slide here, we do have a comprehensive stormwater program on site that performed admirably. And we did not see any of our stormwater or sediment leave our job site. So we've learned from our last storm events, especially last year, last March, where we got I think over 2 inches in an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
So that repeat did happen this year with these 2 rainstorms in November and December. So through our dewatering process, we have estimated about 80,000 gallons that we've got on our sites. Yes, unfortunately, a few of our pictures are waterlogged, but we just wanted to show you that impact. We do plan for these types of events in our schedule. We follow the NOAA recommendations for accumulated rainfall and projections of rainfall. So this does not affect our timeline for finishing the project. But yes, as you can tell, kind of hard to walk around it. We did take last week off and slow things down a little bit. But we had an amazing weekend of sun. And as you can tell now, we're back into our summer and winter. And the site has almost completely dried out at this point. And all of our water, our site is dewatered at this time. So as Dr. Doyle and Rena saw, you can walk around the site now. All right.
Can I ask a question about the water? Did you use water mitigation sandbags, or was the drainage already in? How did you eliminate sediment from escaping?
Correct. So with our, we call it SWIP, our Stormwater Prevention Plan, we do have straw wattle, sandbags, we have screens and things like that that keep the sediment on our site. And those get updated before every rain event, along with almost weekly. We have teams out that take a look at the site, make sure things are in order. But before every projected rain event, there is a company that comes out that our contractor has retained, and they will check the site and make sure that everything is appropriate.
We actually, that's a really good question, Trustee Martin. We actually had an opportunity to present for the Vista Irrigation District just last week. And Dr. Losha, maybe you can convey kind of how they felt about our ability to keep all the dirt and silt on campus.
We'll keep things simple. They're happy. The city's happy, Vista Irrigation District's happy. Their specific comments were on the cleanliness of our sites, the professionalism of our sites, how we're able to plan things out to have minimal impacts for traffic. We're not going to comment. That's for their comments on particular construction sites they were not pleased with, but
not ours.
Not ours. They were using ours as the exemplar for it. And this topic of SWIP does come up. And we talk about it mostly here. Here's a hidden fact. Every school in our district has a SWIP plan. And when you talk about the storm response teams, they're doing all of this at every single school for large rain events where they're out straw waddling and doing things. So that's part of that massive thing that occurs when we ramp up for storm seasons and other things. And Anthony Arias leads that for the district. But they did an incredible job here, and it is worth going out to see the lakes that they put in order to contain the 80,000 gallons.
All right. So we wanted to give you a little bit of more progress photos for building A. So we are continuing installing our casework, tack panel, whiteboards, things like that, painting all of our classrooms and our corridors. You can see to the right. So the colors that will be going into the new school. All right. We're also made dramatic improvements on our exterior finishes. So when you drive by now, you do start to see the colors that will be on. These are our colors. And anyway, just giving you a good look of what you can see from all angles now.
Tell them a little bit about what you're going to do on top of this mud, because you're getting ready for that too. The flat work.
Correct. Yes. So basically, let's see, the picture on the left is going to be one of our main courtyards. There will be a playground in there. And so right now we will
kinder yard.
The kinder yard, correct. The blue area that you see to the left is some of the kinder classrooms. And so, yes, we will be scraping all that down. There will be planter beds, there will be seat walls, things like that, and shade coverings and shade over our playground and also our walkways in between our buildings. All right, so this is our MPR. As you can tell, our finishes are coming together on the exterior. So we do have all of our door and window systems in. MPR does have a large, basically door wall system that's in, that is currently in that photo and open right now. And then also just a glimpse at one of our electrical rooms. This is our main electrical room for the entire campus. Wasn't able to fit everything in, but just, again, just the quality of work and how everything is organized is impressive on this site.
This is, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is called switchgear.
Correct.
Is that right?
That is
So
our
this
switchgear.
This is the most expensive item on the campus.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and again, we can bring to light the getting materials on site early. And so this switchgear was identified as one of our early items to purchase and get on site. So typically these things can take 16 to 18 months just to even get. And so we identified that item, it came in on time, and our teams could put it in when we needed to.
Well, we'll take the board back all the way to my initial meeting with the board, actually the second meeting with the board, where I got the great pleasure of informing you that your electrical switchgear for RBV and Vista High actually had a international declaration that they were going to exercise their right to take up to 2 years to deliver the material, and that there was nothing contractually we could do about it. That was a wonderful meeting, and I think those of you that were there for it, but that led to a very different purchasing strategy. And in this purchasing strategy, Chris and the team have been able to purchase everything in advance, front load it, so it is on site.
Yeah, and then just to add to that, everything is on site and has been on site. The teams have literally been able to just go out to the yard, get it, and install it. All right, this is our building C. We have on the left our library and STEAM. Again, some of the exterior finishes. We have some of our fiber panels in the brown that you see there. Our canopies and door and window systems are in. The left is the library. The one kind of to the right that's hard to see, that is our STEAM classroom. And then the other picture building, see a little bit of mud there, but just wanted to give you the other side of the building. On the back side, we do have some general classrooms back there and restrooms, things like that, custodial offices. All right, and this is our building D. This is down below by our track. Again, this one isn't our critical path, so we kind of picking away at this a little bit, but right now it's looking very good. We have all our doors and canopy systems in, roof system is in. Our drywall is complete and we're doing our finishes now. We'll do, all our mechanical is actually in that building and we'll start to be painting soon.
This is actually a really beautiful building. Trustee Morocco and I were talking about how nice of a job they did on this building. It's just a restroom, but it's really nice. They built it really strong.
And if I may, one of the things that I was, I shot Miss Dallin the other day because about this building, because I'm always looking at like from a safety standpoint, you know, and of course, what's the worst thing that could happen would be like an active shooter type thing. And I look at this building and I'm like, if our kids are on the field, this is a very secure location for them to go into, that nothing is getting through those brick walls. So I look at it and I'm just amazed. I appreciate it. And then is this the building that had all the plumbing, the little?
Yes. There is a use.
It is incredible how clean it is. It's a little closet. Well, it's a long skinny closet with all the plumbing stuff that goes in there. And it is just like, if there's any repairs that need to be done, everything is individually accessible from that location.
It's well done.
It is really well done and it's beautiful, and the pictures don't do it justice with those bricks and what they actually look like up close. They're gorgeous. They're just, it's just a very
beautiful
like,
product.
it's almost it's weird because it's such a small building and it's nothing more than basically restrooms and storage. But it's like one of my favorite buildings, you know, and it's again, one of the reasons is because I look at that for, you know, again, kids playing, they're on the field, something happens, they need a shelter in place, and that is a very secure location. So I appreciate that.
All right, and then that concludes our photos. And then our next steps are account reconciliation, long-range facility master plan is ongoing right now. We'll have a winter update. And then if you have any discussion or feedback, I'm here to answer any questions.
Chris, maybe before they do the feedback, you can just give an update on our conversation with the teachers and their access to the site.
As far as when they can be on site?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we're doing right now, the pictures don't show it right now, but we're taking down our final stages of scaffolding. That does present a significant safety risk. So we will be getting that down in the next 1.5 to 2 weeks. So we are looking forward to having site visits back with our M&O teams, everybody else. Also GID, the teachers, things like that at the end of the month. So I'll start setting up those appointments now.
I bring that up because the teachers are anxious. They've been on the site once, but it was before when we were doing the dirt work. So they really haven't seen the buildings up close. So they've been bugging me. And they agreed that they probably shouldn't go now because they would have to get new shoes.
Yes.
But at the end of the month, so they'll be there. Go ahead.
No, you go right ahead. I just was gonna ask her this.
I got a couple of questions, especially because I received a lot of requests about facility uses. And so my first question is like parking lot, both the upper parking lot and the lower parking lot, do they have lighting out there?
Yes. Those are lighted parking.
The fields do not have lighting. The parking lot
Correct.
do.
Yeah.
The parking
That's
lot.
my next question. And I asked this question in the past. I think the factor or like the biggest roadblock to lighting is the cost.
Twofold. One is, there is a cost, first, there's an upfront cost associated, there's an ongoing cost associated with it. In fact, many people that lease facilities from us at night, it becomes cost prohibitive because of the energy cost of running the fields. The other is environmental impact studies and where that particular field is located. We don't talk about it as often, light pollution, what it does to the communities directly around it. You have to go through an environmental study report in order to demonstrate how you would go about mitigating that. Particularly when you're reconstructing a school and there were not lights there previously, that is a change of environment to the local residents. So those are the primary
Correct.
factors.
There's also the benefit of having access to a park, running, exercising. And so not sure we can explore that, but I mean, we can do a joint facility partnership with the City of Vista. I know, I used to play at Beauvier back in the day because it was open, obviously, we would jump the fence to if needed. But, in any case, it allowed us to play soccer, exercise. And I know this specific area has the sport complex down the street, but that, is also very impacted, especially
Yeah.
for youth that are in the sports team. So anybody that's not part of a sports team wouldn't be able to access that immediately.
Yeah, so, President Markov actually, requested an item to come back to you on joint facility use. And so he and I are meeting with the city, coming up to explore that, but that's a perfect example of the new Beauvier could be a perfect area to enter into a joint use agreement.
So Beauvier was designed that it can be used for that, including the bathrooms, actually. The selection of the toilets and all of those items were designed. So if it pleases the board, either in the near or long-term future, the site is a dual level security, meaning you can secure the upper site while the lower site can be used for joint use. And the final is the statute of limitations, Trustee Vargas, has expired on your jumping the fence. You're all
Yeah, I
done.
mean, if you could get an estimate, that would be great.
Yeah.
I think what we'll do, I just want to say back to you what I think I'm hearing you say. You'd like us to bring back to you an estimate of how much it would cost to put lighting. And if you're comfortable, we'd like to do a number of locations, not just the Beauvier location. Because I tell you right now, probably the location that would be the easiest to do that to would be Vista in the middle. But we'll check on that. We'll get back to you, but we'll give you multiple locations and we'll work with Trustee Markov, President Markov on that, because that would be part of the joint use. And it's certainly possible that we could have some kind of a cost sharing agreement with the city. That's why that's the beauty of a joint use.
Are there mobile solar lights that could?
There are mobile lights.
For the field?
Know about the mobile lights we use.
I want to answer there's two different questions now on the floor. One is there mobile solar lights? We don't know of any mobile solar lights that meet the illumination requirements to be considered adequately lighted at night at this time, but the technology is always getting better. All right, so there are always those possibilities out there. The other is we have rented mobile lights. The student board member asked about accommodations. One of the accommodations that we have out there is that we do rent mobile lights, so that way, as these athletes need to move around, at times they can put up temporary lights because temporary lights don't require long-term environmental impacts.
Thank you. I have a request from Ms. Stetler. Can you tell the story about the window in the kitchen, the office? Can you please recount that story?
Bernard won't be happy about this, but I'll go ahead. So in our kitchen, we had a window that had some strange vertical supports in it, bars. And so I don't have a picture of it to show you now, but we were always joking about how our poor CNS team is behind bars while they're cooking. And so we found out that actually that window did not belong on our site. It did belong, in fact, in a local prison.
Oh, wow.
And so we did promptly get that removed and replaced with the appropriate windows.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
It's
It's already fixed.
Yeah.
So our joke turned into reality and we took care of it.
Very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, moving on to 18A, Superintendent Comments, School Board Recognition Month.
Okay, normally I would do this at the beginning of the meeting, but I think we did something more important at the beginning of the meeting. So thank you again.
Well, President Markov is gonna beat my 30%.
Well, tonight, yours was an average over an entire year, though. Let the record show 30% over a year was pretty good. All right, so January is the official school board recognition month. So I'd like to read this to you out of respect to the board. We've also placed this in the community update that went out yesterday and recognized the entire board. And I have to say, it's a really nice picture of all of you too. Well done. All right, so it is a true pleasure to enthusiastically recognize and appreciate the dedication and leadership of our school board trustees, Mike Markov, Brianna Vargas, Martha Alvarado, Rita Morocco, and Sue Martin. Over the course of each year, our trustees commit hundreds of hours to steward the governance of our great school district with the central focus on creating positive, supportive, and high-quality learning environments and experiences for all students. In partnership with communities across the country, please join all of us in celebrating the leadership of all of our school board members. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Doyle. 19A, this is a request for future board agenda items or other business.
I have one.
Trustee Morocco.
Yeah, I'd like, maybe, it doesn't have to be next month, I'm willing to wait till March, but could we start having a discussion about what we would like to, what is gonna be done with the Olive property?
Yes, we'll actually put an update in the Friday letter, but we can bring it back as an item as well.
No, I have one. We have just gone through the first semester of our class of 2029. And so I was wondering, grades have come in and, for our freshman class, maybe in closed session, I'm not sure. Can we see?
Absolutely. I know exactly what you're asking for.
The C minus?
Yep.
A through G compliance.
Yeah, so we'll also do a DNF rate report.
Yep.
Ben, you're comfortable for that being a Friday letter? Or do you want to talk about it? We can start with the Friday letter, and if you'd like to go further, you can tell us.
I'm just curious. on
Yeah, we'll
other-
absolutely do it.
This is a request, but not necessarily for the board meeting, but maybe a Friday letter. Just some information on our sites and signage for public and private spaces and with the increase ICE activity and some of the schools across the nation being infiltrated. I just would like to know that we have our signage up at appropriate places and that our people know what to do. I know we've done multiple trainings, but I think it's time to review it because we need to be proactive and protect our students and our staff members.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And I can assure you, we will provide you that information. Dr. Faust and the team are already working on refreshing it. We refresh it every 6 months.
Mental telepathy, right?
She's on top of it.
Yeah.
But we'll provide a Friday letter to give you that information.
Can I add on to Trustee Alvarado? There is a big difference between an ICE warrant and a judicial warrant.
Absolutely. It's part of our procedures.
Okay,
But I'm going to make a note here.
Thank you.
But we'll put it in Friday letter. We actually have that in our process,
judicial warrants.
which just for the record, the only thing that's official is a judicial warrant. Is one of, for people who are listening, anyone else, that ICE warrants do not work in our organization. It has to be an official judicial warrant.
But they're passing them out like candy.
Yeah, we understand that. But, and that's not just unique to this district. That's the entire state of California through the Attorney General.
And the nation.
Yeah, and the nation. But in California, they have their specific language and laws for us. We must only recognize judicial warrants.
Okay.
And just to add to that comment, I want to thank our staff, from administrators to teachers to our support staff that have worked tirelessly to make our schools safe for our students as much as we can. We can't control everything, but I know the work has been ongoing, and I just want to show my sincere appreciation for the focus and the heart that our staff has demonstrated for our kids and our families.
Thank you. Any other requests?
Any other requests?
Just a reminder for Dr. Shakela, looking for the input from the teachers regarding programs.
Yeah, that's, remember, we're doing a survey and that's all part of the blueprint process.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
All right, 19B, board member reports or comments. Would you like to start? Trustee Morocco?
I know, I did it to you too. I know. Turn around. Just, it was, sort of a shortish month because of, the holidays, but, did walk Beaubier the other day, which was really awesome. And I went to the Nika Gala the other night. I was the only one.
I
So
wish you could have been there, but I was at an event here in Vista.
they called your name out.
Thank you for calling my name out. I wish I could have been there.
So, I did that. And so, yeah, that's, just, keep it up.
I participated, and observed DLAC, which is a great organization, and DPAC, which is a great organization. Learning a lot and, getting out to campuses as often as I can. And, jury duty.
Trustee Alvarado?
I think I have nothing this month.
Fair enough.
I have nothing to.
It's been short because of the holidays.
Yeah.
Trustee Vargas?
Yeah, with that, Christmas break was at the lighting of the tree, so
Yeah.
thank you to our staff and our teachers that, put that event together. But with the, coming out of CSBA last month and heading into like the spring, we have a couple workshops lined up with the California School Board Association for San Diego. This month we'll be focusing on the science of literacy. Next month we'll be focusing on charter schools in the new landscape. And then following that, we'll be focusing on cybersecurity. So I'll send you all the invitation. You're more than welcome to come. It's usually the third Monday of the month at 6 p.m. at the county building. This month, because of MLK, will happen the fourth Monday. But with that being said, this weekend is also the NAACP Day of Service on Saturday. So people that are interested in joining, it's at 9 a.m. at the Maricosta College campus, and are all welcome to come and help out. They have various volunteer projects for the community. It was wonderful to participate in PD and get to see our staff earlier this month and some of the amazing work that's happening. I did see people that typically don't talk to each other, get the opportunity to interact with each other. It's always a great thing. So thank you for the invitation. And lastly, looking forward to joining all of you or most of you in DC. Not sure who's going to go, but advocacy is much needed in today's landscape.
I had a short month also, had an enjoyable walk at the old Olive site where they had the classified PD, and so it was neat to that was my first experience of that, of everybody there, so that was very nice to see. And I, we're looking forward to the next workshop with you guys next week.
Sounds good.
Yeah, yeah, the workshop that Ms. Machado and Dr. Loescher did was amazing last week. Really appreciated that. That was really good.
Sure. Okay, we will adjourn the meeting at.
Wait, could, since we're getting out early and our student board members are still here, do you guys have any comments about the meeting? Anything that you want to say about the meeting?
Just go ahead and say it's pretty, what's the word? Spectacular to actually see the meeting ending. I didn't know that.
That's amazing. President Markov.
Off to a great start, but I'm excited for the new year. I'm excited for progress to be made and have any other comments. Thoughts?
Good. I do want to make a comment about our student board members. They look particularly nice today. Very professional. I love your shirts.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
for
awesome.
coming.
Yeah.
We know that you're busy people, but it's important for you to be part of this process. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, thank you. We'll adjourn the meeting at 7:45.
Awesome, thanks.